The disruptive environments chest rig, heavy, or known as the D3CRH. The heavy version is just kind of a little bit more beefed up than the X version with a different pouch array. And we call it heavy because of the heavier style mags, whether you're running a SCAR or a Mark 17 or a 308 platform, AKs, etc. So I'm going to go into that here in a second. But we wanted to make sure that it fits, again, a plethora of magazines. And so it is still a 4-cell system, just like our D3CRX. And you can see I've got SCAR mags in here right now, or Mark 17 mags. Now, the cool thing about this is that it'll fit all 308 pattern mags from M110 to Lancer to, again, FNs to Magpul, LR mags. Anything you could pretty much fit in there. I think this is the new Army mag that fits perfect into the heavy. This chest rig is really popular with some of the more reconnaissance style guys or snipers and also assaulters as well, because what you can do, if you're not running 308 or AK mags, you can run our MP2s, just like all of our chest rigs. You can slide that down inside and then put your 5.56 mags in, and you can see and hear that click, that positive engagement. And as you can see, when the mag comes out, the MP2 stays in there, so you can put pretty much any mag you want into the heavy. So that's nice if you're going from precision stuff or, you know, sniper stuff, and then you're moving into more of an assaulter role. Radios, etc., all still fit inside of this pouch here. Bungee tabs come with the kit. You can put them on if you want. You can also put the MP2s in for the 308 mags as well. But if you have those in there, you don't really need to run the bungees because they're really good retention and they still come out good for reloads. But if you want the retention on there, again, for airborne type operations or any type of disruptive environment you find yourself in, that's why we throw them in the kit. Moving around to the front, you're going to see two GP/admin type pouches. You got a small one over here on the left side that zips. You got a field on the front for loop for putting identifiers, for maybe you want to put a little bleeder kit in here. The small binos that we've all had as kids and still have, and even some of the new cool like Vortex monoculars can fit in this pouch. You could put right in the range stuff, compasses, whatever your heart desires. On the other side, we've got a little bit larger pouch because we've got that space over here. And inside of this one, you're going to see enough space to put laser rangefinders, right in the rain kit, sniper dope books. You even have your elastic in here so you could purpose fit a custom medical kit or survival gear, pens, or whatever you want to put in that side. There's also a dope sheet card or a clear view that you can see through, so you can put 9-line cards, trauma cards, or whatever you want to fit inside of that. Maybe even a map or something if you have something, a small area that you're working in. Now, on the front, you also have a loop identifier field as well. In the middle, we have our multi-mission handgun/GP pouches. Again, they fit handgun magazines, both single stack and double stacks. There's the bungees on them if you so choose to put them on again. You can put flashlights, multi-tools. Again, we talked about 40 millimeters in the D3CRX video. You could put 240s on there, or maybe you're running an M203 and you need marker rounds up here, and you've got our 40 mic hanger on the bottom, so you can play back and forth between those two spaces for whatever you need. On the sides, and then we'll eventually move around the back, you'll see these two little elastic loops on each side. You can take and put a knife down in there and clip it in, which we take our darter knives and put it in there. You can take and put chem lights. You can put a tourniquet on there, rubber band things to it. Just be careful if you are putting medical equipment through elastic loops that you can get it out single-handedly. Chest rig accessories. Now, all the accessories that I'm about to speak to are compatible with all of our chest rigs and placards that we have. So whether you're running a micro or the heavy like this or the X, or you're running our Molly placard or TRMP placard, both of those placards can also be turned into micro chest rigs. So the best way to do this, because there's a lot of stuff here, is to talk about where you would put them. Well, we know we put things on the bottom. Okay, we know we put things on the back, and we know we can put things on the side. So we're going to start with bottom first. Now, this is the OG hanger. Okay, the hanger, this is probably between 13 and 14 years old. This is the one that kind of started all the hanger movements. I was a big fanny pack guy. It's a big thing in my community, in the reconnaissance community. Put our survival, our radios, our medical kit in, especially if we're doing airborne jumps, we lose all our stuff. We still have something with us. And as we evolved, we wanted to keep that gear on us so we could just hang it underneath the plate carrier or a chest rig. So This OG hanger, if I was to put this on the back of all of our chest rigs, we have a panel. You pull off that Cordura panel, and if you want to continue to use it, you can. I'll talk about some of the stuff you could put on the back, like our back pads here in a second. I'm going to take the hanger, I'm going to place it center on this one. You can also offset them left or right if you want, because there are some other smaller accessories you could put down there. And then there's your hanger now. And you can see the back is clean once I put that panel back on. Our next hanger is the 5-banger hanger. So you could probably tell why we call it that. Here is 5 rounds of HEDP for 40mm, whether you're running them out of a M203 or a 320, or if you have some other 40mm launcher. Law enforcement guys or less lethal teams in the military can also run baton rounds, rubber stingers, all that stuff. They will all fit in here, and you can extend this up or down. So same concept, slap it on. I'm going to put this a little bit higher. Slap your back panel back on. And there's your 5-banger hanger. This thing is, you can see flush. When you start to load them, I can reach over and pop a round out. And you can see even being tight, it'll still pop out right into my hand, okay? I can also lower it if I need to. Our next hanger is the vertical MOLLE hanger. It's customizable. You can put whatever you want on there. I've seen guys put individual GP little pouches on here. I've seen frag pouches, so you could put 3 frags down here. You could put bigger general purpose, like a dump pouch that mollies on, so that way you have a bigger like site exploitation bag, or like you like to put a lot of stuff on the front. Breachers can custom configure this. Even communications guys with hubs, you could tie in a hub with some 1-wrap Velcro and put your cable management on here. And also on the back, we've got this elastic sleeve for that cable management or breachers, stuffing your shock cord or your no-nell. You can do whatever. You can also, I've seen guys take a magazine and put a single mag back here. So you could have another hidden mag behind your hanger. Stick it on, put your panel back on or your back pad. There's your vertical MOLLE hanger. Our next hanger is a horizontal MOLLE hanger. This one's a little bit smaller than the vertical. You can see this being horizontal allows you to maybe put on a radio. You could put on another single rifle mag pouch. You could draw a magazine this way. You could take IS-lid, like a lot of the JTACs and military guys will put their IS-lid on here. Whatever you can fit horizontally in this configuration. Plus it also has the elastic on the back, so you can use your cable management and retain all that stuff. So there is your horizontal MOLLE hanger. Last are our smaller hangers. So with a larger system like this, I'll go ahead and throw both of them on there. This is our TQS. Got our TQS hanger. See your Cat 7 tourniquet in there. Got trauma shears on the back. There's actually 2 channels on the back. You could put a Sharpie, trauma shears, or if you wanted to put like a decompression needle in there, you certainly could. But that's got everything you need. So I can set that one on there. It also works on a belt as well. And then this is our dump pouch. Very simple, very lightweight dump pouch. Slap that on the back. Put your panel on. And there's your dump pouch and your tourniquet. If you need your dump pouch accessed, you get in here and pop that down. And you can see you have your dump pouch on your front. And then you can just stuff it back up and roll it back up when you're done. Okay, so that is a TQS and the dump pouch hanger. Okay, let's talk about the back now. So I'm going to go ahead and take my back panel off. And the first thing I would do if I bought a chest rig would be replace that panel with a breathable spacer mesh back pad. So now I got a lot more comfort, especially as we start to put more weight on. And we have a back pad for our X and heavy, so the quad cell, and we have a back pad for the micro. You can see the triple cell. And this also fits our TRMPs and our MOLLE chest rig. So micro, MOLLE, and TRMP for the small, D3CRH, and heavy for the large. Now, we have a wedge family I'm going to show you next. The wedges are what we put on the back. The first one, and one of the older ones, because again, if we go back to the history of the D3CR platform, it was designed as a small micro system that would work inside of vehicles mostly and in CQB. But if I was a vehicle guy, which I drove quite a bit, And being a lead driver, the primary weapon system is your car. But you always got to have your handguns on you, and it's hard to draw when you're always sitting in the driver's seat, especially if you're at a checkpoint or something. So a lot of guys would take and put that handgun wedge on the back so they could draw their handgun from right here and immediately extend the gun out the window, for example. Now this is going to take some ingenuity, I guess. We have an old holster that's in here that we just put Velcro around the side, and it kind of nicely goes over that. It may look like something difficult to wear, but once the chest rig starts to wrap nicely around your body with the straps on, it actually conforms pretty nice. And a lot of guys like putting their handguns there. But again, I would only put it there if that was my specific job that required me to put it there. The next wedge we have is the double mag wedge. So you can see I got two 5.56 mags in here. Currently, we only make a 5.56 wedge. And you do the same thing. You'd place it on the back, and you could hike it up or hike it down. I hike them just a little bit higher, which if you look at the seams, and you place the seams of the Velcro together on the back, and you line them up right here across the top, that will place those mags about 3/4 or maybe almost an inch higher. And then when I put my back pad on, you can see I now have 6 magazines. And I can still get to those fairly easy, even with the chest rig strap on. I took them off just so I could install these easy for you. The next wedge is an admin wedge. So the admin wedge, I'm going to go ahead and place in the center, right between the straps, line it up seam to seam. Take and put my back pad panel back on real quick. And now you can see easy access right behind your mags, even through your harnesses. You can get your right in the rain, your protractors, your maps, maybe some pens, whatever you need to put in there. Okay, so the admin sleeve is something you should probably never leave home without. And our last wedge is a little tiny wedge, and that's our trauma shear. Now this is the smaller trauma shear compared to the larger trauma shear, which I like to throw this shear on a hanger or something so I can actually have that stuck to the big Velcro field down below. And the smaller shears are really nice to have that fit on a wedge because it's hard to fit those big shears back there because they get in the way of mag reloads. So I even have the admin sleeve on here, and what I can do is I can put it on with the sleeve, put it in the center. So I've got my shears right there, kind of nice and tucked away, very efficient. I can also move it over to the far right side so it clears the straps. And you can see now I've got shears back here I can pull out and insert them back in. It has a mouth opening on it, so the shears go in and out very easily. And they retain very well. Okay, we've talked bottom, back, and now let's talk sides. Because let's say this just isn't enough space for all the gear that you need to carry, because sometimes you know we got to carry more. So what we did is we developed a side saddle system, which is a really simple, seamless pair of side saddles that literally pop right on the side. All you do is take your buckle off of the side of the D3CRH chest rig or the placards. All of our buckles are repair buckles, which has a little slit in them, so you can pop them right off. I would then take and pop that buckle off and put it right on the side saddle, and all I just did was extend it, okay? So let's say, and before I move on, if you have any questions on this, there's an entire video just on the side saddles themselves, which goes into all the details, all the installation, how the G-hooks work on the inside, and why it's constructed the way it is. So go ahead and check that. I'll put the link down below so you guys can hit that if you're interested in the side saddles. So I got my D3CRX chest rig here, and I'm going to go ahead and put my side saddles on because I want to carry my PVS 31s over on this side, and I want to put a med mag mount with my trauma kit on the other side. And so here's what that looks like. All right, so there it is. Now I've put my wings on, I've got my trauma kit, I've got my PVS 31s and our GP saw pouch. You can also put saw nut sacks in it. And of course, I never leave home without my 40 mic, so I had to throw the 5-banger hanger on there. So yeah, as you can see, I've got a seamless mount on the back. There is 0 seams or buckles that are connected, so this will wrap fully around your body. And on the front, you can see there's 0 seams in here as well. The last harness system we're going to talk about is also a harness system, and that's our classic flat pack. If you guys are interested in knowing more about the flat pack, we've got an entire video on that. But the flat pack was designed to not only be just an EDC backpack, also mollies onto the back of a plate carrier. We have 2 different sizes, a small, this is the plus size, and also to be in a patrol configuration like this. So I've got my side saddles on, I've got my harness, which just comes with the flat pack. All you do is take your X or your H off, plug in your flat pack straps. You can see you got your sternum strap, camelback or cable management on there. And then in the flat pack comes with extra side straps. These are your 2 bottom straps that connect into the shoulder straps if you were to wear it like an everyday backpack. And then these 2 extra ones come with the flat pack so you can have double side support there. So that is all of the harness systems, guys. If you have any more questions on our disruptive environments chest rig lines or placard lines, or even the flat packs and other stuff that you've seen in this video, feel free to put your comments and questions down below. We'll do our best to get to them. And also you can hit our customer service at haleystrategic.com. And of course, you can always go to our website at haleystrategic.com and look at all the descriptions and specifications and the plethora of other pouches and options that we have that you can put on top of all this stuff. So guys, thank you for joining me today. Travis Haley, stay sharp, be safe, and die free.